Hey guys, Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Batgirl issue 0, and this is actually the only issue 0 I got this month for some reason. Not this month, this week for some reason. Yeah, so this is the only one I really thought that was interesting. One that I kind of want to get, but just didn't end up getting was Birds of Prey issue 0. So if any of you guys read that issue, tell me in comments below if you liked it. But yeah, that was one I was considering, but just didn't end up getting. But yeah, so Batgirl issue 0 was the only issue 0 I got this week, and only DC comic book I got this week. But I think next week there's going to be a lot more issue 0s for me to pick up. But let's talk about the cover for this issue. All the covers are pretty much the same for these issue 0s. It's just pretty much, Batgirl popping out and whatever's in the background. Usually it's something that happens in the issue, a couple panels in the background like we see in this, or just like a first issue or of them popping out. So I like the issue 0's covers, so all of them are pretty good unless the art is really bad for the character popping out like Green Arrow was. But other than that, I've been really liking the art for the covers, and it's pretty much the same art that we see in the comic. And there's actually been pretty good art for Batgirl. I've been really enjoying it, and there's cool 2 pages like summary of like what Batgirl's all about. Like a year that she's been Batgirl, so I thought that was kind of cool, like these splash pages. Yeah, but let's talk about the story. In this issue, we get to see Barbara before she was Batgirl and like her first adventure as Batgirl. She goes to this police department, and there's this guy who ends up breaking out of him being arrested. So he breaks out, and he says, "Oh, Barbara, you seem like a good hostage. You are the Commissioner Gordon's daughter." So he tries to capture her, but she has self-defense and she's smart. She knows how to protect herself. So she ends up protecting herself and her brother, who's also there during this whole entire fight. And yeah, so she saves the day, and she gets to wear a Batgirl costume for the first time because there's this Batman suit that was at the police office that they were trying to use, just showing the officers like who Batman's all about. They're just like teaching a lesson or whatever. So Barbara finds that, and she kind of becomes Batgirl for the first time. And then we get to see, oh, I've been doing this for a year. It's been a blast, and that's why we had these splash pages. And yeah, so we get to see her origins, and I enjoyed it. I have to say I enjoyed it, and the ending was a cool cliffhanger-ish thing to get us excited for the next issue. We get to see a little panel from The Killing Joke, especially because the Joker is returning. I think we'll probably figure out more about Barbara, her not being Batgirl for that whole entire year and a half, I think it was, that she was in a wheelchair. And I think we're going to see that experience with the next issue. And of course the Joker returning. So that should be very interesting, and I'm very excited for that. And with this whole Joker thing, I'm excited to see it in Batman. I'm actually going to pick up Batman because of that. But I think I'm most excited to see it in Batgirl because it really does have to do with our character so much. And like I said, the Joker changed her life, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they interact. So I'm glad that they kind of gave that cliffhanger. So this issue was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's a different type of origin because the real origin, before the New 52 was that Barbara became Batgirl because she went to this party, and she became Batgirl because of the Killer Moth, and she's like, oh, this is the only time I'll be Batgirl, and then she ended up being Batgirl for years, so I liked it, and also the only thing I didn't like about this issue, and I guess the whole New 52 in general, is that Batgirl was only Batgirl for a year, so I don't feel like they could become as close, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl, like we see here. I don't know how they would make that connection. Are they closer before the New 52? I feel like we haven't really seen them all interact with each other, so I'm hoping in future issues we will see that, but again, I don't know what I think about Batgirl only being Batgirl for a year, since, she was Batgirl for years before the New 52, and now they're trying to cram all that history into 1 year, so I don't know how I feel about that, and I'm kind of upset they kind of mentioned it. I wish they were just like, oh yeah, it's fun. I was Batgirl for a really long time, and I met, Robin and Batman. We became a family. And I wish that they showed a little bit more of that they are a family, because that's the Bat family, So, and those are the 3 that are the closest, because they started it all. So, I wish they kind of showed a little bit more of that. Hopefully we'll get an issue in the future showing a little bit of how they were then, I wish we got an issue with that. We'll have to see in maybe Nightwing. Maybe we'll get that. That'd be interesting. I'm actually excited to read Nightwing issue 0 because again, we haven't seen him as Robin. We haven't really seen them all together. So I hope we get an issue like that. To tell you the truth, I was wishing that this issue would be that. Us seeing, like, before she was in the wheelchair, before the whole Killing Joke events, and then the three of them being together instead of this new Origins. But still, New Origins was good, and we're bringing, Barbara's brother, which has been mentioned a lot throughout this series. He's been very, you know, uh, active in this series, even though it's like either 1 or 2 panels here, or just kind of mention. We know he's gonna be playing a big part in a future story arc, and I think Gail's really trying to build up his character, and it really should be interesting to see how he interacts with Barbara in the present time. And I think those are 2 story arcs I'm very excited for, is the Joker and Barbara's brother, just to see what happens. Yeah, so this issue is pretty good, though. Again, there's things here and there. I do think the regular Origins is a little bit better than this. I don't think it really improved on anything, this Origins, but it's a little bit nice of a twist. We do get to add, James Gordon Jr. into things, and actually make him mention, because, like, before the New 52, we did get him mentioned, towards the end of Detective Comics. We get to learn a lot about his character, but before that, olden times Batman, we never really got a mention of his character. Sometimes he'd be mentioned as the brother, or sometimes we'll see him in one panel, but never really mentioned his character. So now he's really becoming part of Barbara's origins, which should be pretty interesting. So I really like this issue. It's actually my pick of the week. I give it 4 stars, and I say pick it up. I recommend issue 0 and issue 1 if you haven't been reading the series. Pick up those 2 issues to kind of see if you like the series. But this is one of my favorite DC Comics series, and I've been loving it. So I give this 4 stars. I like this issue, and it's definitely worth picking up. This is my pick of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the rant situations. Just get news on my videos. Hope you guys enjoyed, and this is Comic Uno. Bye, guys.